Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to those who I have not met. So nice to have you with us tonight, and everyone else who's always here. Hi. It's so lovely to be able to come into a Zendo that's cool. It's really, this is a luxurious Zendo. Usually part of the training is really feeling the heat, really feeling the cold, no matter what the temperature. We don't mitigate it, but actually, this is what we do here. So, so tonight I wanted to talk about metta, M-E-T-T-A. Many of you are familiar with this practice, and some of you may not be. We haven't been chanting the Metta Sutra for a while, so now we're going to take it up again as part of our Sunday service. So this is by way of introduction a bit. Metta is the love that reaches everywhere. It's unconditioned, kind of. It's a term, love is not a term that is found in traditional Zen teachings usually, but in traditional Zen teachings. But a number of years ago, my teacher, Chozen, introduced us to this very important offering in the Theravadan stream of Buddhist practice, the teaching of metta, which is one of the four divine abidings. And the four divine abidings are also called the Brahma Viharas, so that the home of Brahma, the dwelling place of Brahma, who is the source of all creation. The divine abidings are the four enlightened qualities, the four different qualities of love. And they are loving kindness, so kindness is one. Compassion, sympathetic joy, which is taking pleasure in the happiness of others, which can be very challenging sometimes, and then equanimity, true equanimity. The divine abidings. This teaching predates the Buddha by about 2,000 years. And it's also found in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. If you're a yoga practitioner, you would be familiar with them through that stream. And also the Brahmaloka teachings in Hinduism. So today I wanted to zero in on the many faces of love, a love which reaches everywhere. I love that phrase. A love which reaches everywhere. We can just remember the phrase, and that might be the whole practice. Bringing it to mind, especially when we're feeling bitter, resentful, spiteful, anything that's really painful. We can bring up the phrase, the love that reaches everywhere, and immediately it changes the tone in the body, the energy in the body. But usually when we think about love, we confuse it often with desire. And there's nothing wrong with desire. Contrary to what's often said in Buddhism, we wouldn't be here without desire. Desire is the spark that draws all life to itself. It's a juicy propulsion that marks the early phases of love, romantic love, love that is sweaty and messy. It's the mating kind of love, the love that produces children, the love that produces bonds, real connection. And when combined with desire, it lends a hefty biological assist to it. So hormones and the silent prompt of pheromones orchestrate and urge us irresistibly into this kind of love. And I hope that all of us here have experienced that as part of being human. So love can also be confused. So it can be confused with desire. It can be confused with need. When we spot somebody who appears to have a quality that we feel we must have and we don't have, and we find somebody who seems to have that quality, and if we get together with them, they will complete us. We will be completed. So, as when somebody who's shy hooks up with a gregarious partner, that's just one of many examples of that. So sometimes the obsession that can come with romantic love is about need, and it's about feeling like if I don't get that person, I will not experience that particular quality of feeling. I don't know if I'm seeing some pondering expressions here, so maybe I'm not being entirely clear, but anyway, there it is. So neediness can motivate a relationship that's not necessarily helpful or healthy for both partners. And in Dharma practice, we have an opportunity to discover and develop our own wholeness, to actually own it, recognize it, so that the love that reaches everywhere is always available to us and cannot be taken when somebody leaves us. No matter how sad we are at the loss of their company, we remain whole. And in our practice, we discover that we are whole and complete and lacking nothing. This is an evolving awareness that happens over the course of time in practice. And this is the kind of uprightness that we develop in Sangha, because we need connection. It's part of being human, part of being an animal. And desire is also part of being wholly human. It doesn't necessarily hinder awakening when we understand the nature of desire and the arising of desire. When we awaken to all aspects of our human way, our human equipment. So desire and need are all part of the human condition and powerfully involved in the ways that we attach and the ways that we suffer. Desire and need they just are. And they're also the foundations of spiritual life. So not to mislead when we talk about different kinds of love, that only certain kinds of love are spiritual and okay, and other kinds of love are bad. That's not the message that I want to transmit here. So I came across a poem that I thought kind of sums this up a bit. It begins with, "Dear human, you've got it all wrong. You didn't come here to master unconditional love. This is where you came from and where you'll return. You came here to learn personal love, universal love, messy love, sweaty love, crazy love, broken, whole love, infused with divinity, lived through the grace of stumbling, demonstrated through the beauty of messing up, often. You didn't come here to be perfect. You already are. You came here to be gorgeously human, flawed and fabulous, and then to rise again into remembering. But unconditional love, stop telling that story. Love, in truth, doesn't need any other adjective. It doesn't require the condition of perfection. It only asks that you show up. and do your best. And that you stay present and feel fully. That you shine and laugh and cry and hurt and heal and fall back and get up and play, work, and live and die as you. It's enough. It's plenty. It kind of covers it, huh? So we always come back to what brings us to practice. It's an important thing to think about. What do you come to practice for? What is your expectation? What is your need? What is your hunger? What is your prompt? It's often that our lives aren't going so well. And this would be true specifically when we begin practice, because we just have always meant to and we do it. But then things go so well that we just kind of forget about practice until everything crashes again, and then we remember, right? So, so when things are not going so well, and there's a sense that this life is not satisfying my needs. It's my needs for love or fulfillment or direction, the right direction. I'm not quite in the right place. I'm not quite the right person. I'm not quite my whole person. Who am I anyway? You know, I mean, these are the questions, the prompts. I've heard a lot of people complain that I thought I'd be happy when I found a loving partner. I'd be down because I'm not happy. I think it's the partner, the wrong partner maybe. Finding a loving partner is a great blessing, but there's still something missing. So what's missing? When you don't get what you want, there's something missing. And when you do get what you want, there's still something missing. If we're paying attention, and we don't just kind of disappear into some compulsive activity or drug usage or avoidance strategies. There's so much research that affirms our need, if we're going to be healthy and whole, for love and connection in order to thrive. But our ordinary and very personal way of approaching this through desire and through need doesn't quite get to helping us realize our completeness, our original completeness, our original nature. This is the job of spiritual practice. And the path of being a spiritual being. Spiritual meaning whole and complete. So when we haven't opened our spiritual eye and heart, our self is experienced as separate from the whole. And when we have some sense of being part of the whole, of each moment being whole and entire, we know that even very quietly we have awakened to our open Dharma eye, our open spiritual heart. We realize that our self is whole, is the whole world. So this may be one reason why Buddhism doesn't talk about love so much. But we do talk a great deal about loving kindness. So when we say love, usually it points to a personal love. But loving kindness takes us to a world beyond our own self-concern and our own need. The practice of loving kindness. Practicing kindness immediately includes what we think of as other. And love is always paired with kindness. We approach love and practice love as a verb. It's a verb. And it's intrinsic and visceral experience that wants to be and needs to be enacted and expressed. When we are able to love and enact it, there's a profound sense of well-being that comes with that. And this love is expressed in many guises. You know, it can be very tender. It can just be a feeling of delight, of appreciation, of gratitude, openness, of attention. And it can also pop up at the oddest moments. So this is how we approach our everyday, every moment, every situation. I mean, yesterday there were a number of us here sewing zabatons, which are the mats that you're sitting on. And we were working in silence, or we were chatting, we were working, making these mats that maybe people will sit on for 100 years. Some of these mats are 50 years old that you're sitting on right now, you know. And the feeling of love was so profound. Although we might not have said, if I had said, well, what are you feeling right now? People might not have said love. But that was kind of at the heart of it. The joy of it. So a loving response is usually relaxing, connecting, and it brings with it a feeling of completeness. Because it's coming forward from the sea of compassion, which is the love that reaches everywhere. And it's not just humans. You may have had experiences of feeling this profound, loving, natural world. So that's not a personal love, but it's distinct and complete and very surprising when you have an experience like that. When you see the clouds and the clouds see you. So loving kindness can feel sweet. It can even feel a little harsh at times if you think of tough love, which is based on truth-telling, when somebody really needs the truth, needs to hear the truth, to help set them free from some unwholesome behaviors that are damaging themselves or other people. And that's one of the things that comes with precept practice and Sangha life. We are true friends in that we do speak. This can come up at times to give feedback, not in a cruel and depreciating way, but in a way that, friend, that hurts what you just said, or whatever, however, whatever the situation is. But we do that in Sangha. In that book, if any of you who are studying precepts have read the what's his name, from San Francisco, Reb's book, he says the thing that distinguishes Sangha is that we tell each other the truth. It's more than a regular friendship where we just try to make each other feel good. And we do that too. But there are times. So we develop loving kindness by practicing it actively, keeping it in mind and remembering the intention. If you're having the miseries and you remember to offer yourself loving kindness, you might use phrases like, may I be free from fear and anxiety. So let's say it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're lying there and you're holding your breath and you're thinking of all the torture thoughts that get you really anxious. And then you can bring up metta and say, may I be free from fear and anxiety. and immediately there's a releasing, relaxing. May I be happy. May I be whole and complete. May I open my heart and be at ease. May I recognize love wherever I find it. We don't always get love where we think we want it and have to have it from, but where is the love in your life? It comes in a lot of different places. And may I accept it and allow myself to take in the nourishment of love. And then to be able to pass it along as a blessing. Offering love to somebody else, to a friend, a neighbor, or someone who you don't like. And actually, metta practice is particularly potent when using it with somebody who is really giving you a hard time, and you're feeling hate for, resentful of, whatever. You extend loving kindness to them. Picture them in front of you and extend it. You don't have to feel it, you just say it. May you be free from fear and anxiety. And it's amazing how transformative that practice is with what's called traditionally the enemy. Or some part of yourself that you're really struggling with. May I be free from this cruel voice and feel ease. And you can also send loving kindness to non-human, not only to animals and trees and the great earth, or your garden, or the dishes in the sink. This simple practice of loving kindness can dislodge us from a very narrow and miserable self-concern or pressure. So truly this is active engagement. The active engagement of love in our practice is loving kindness. Living on this earth lovingly, inclusively, and wisely. And it is a perfect pairing with precept practice. So please, after this, or maybe right now, consider, where do you experience love? Where do you offer it? Where do you receive it? How do you express your love? Can you express it in unlikely places? One of the things about metta practice is, and we'll be delving into metta practice on Tuesday nights during Dharma discussion, the next round after precepts, is you offer it first to yourself, then to a loved one, and then just to an acquaintance, somebody you don't particularly know or have any feeling about, and then to the enemy. So you can, it's a wonderful practice. You go to the grocery store and you're checking out, and you just, in your head, offering loving kindness to this wonderful person who's just checking out your groceries for you, helping you bag. It turns chores and errands into real, for me, this is how I have my fun. But it really marks these activities in a lovely way. So a little bit more about metta. It comes from, in its roots in Sanskrit, it has two different roots. One is rain, the word for rain. So metta falls the way rain falls, non-selectively. It falls on the entire surface of one's experience. And then also friend. It's friendly. One of the things I always noticed before I got too involved in Zen was how friendly people in Zen are. Hopefully. And this is part of it, I think. So the Buddha said, he was talking about the blessings of metta. Monks, when universal love leading to liberation of mind is ardently practiced, developed, unrelentingly resorted to, used as one's vehicle, made the foundation of one's life, fully established, well consolidated, and perfected, then these 11 blessings may be expected. What 11 blessings? One sleeps happily. One wakes happily. One does not suffer bad dreams. One is dear to human beings. One is dear to non-human beings. The gods protect one. No fire or poison or weapon harms one. One's mind gets quickly concentrated. The expression of one's face is serene. One dies unperturbed. And even if one fails to attain higher states, one will at least reach the state of the Brahma world. The Brahma world, which is free from desire, clinging, and all of the roots of suffering. So it's important that we, each of us, take responsibility for establishing ourselves in this practice. As aspiring bodhisattvas, we know that none of us, awaken alone. And metta practice, loving kindness practice, is one of the ways that we enact the understanding of interdependent arising. We condition our hearts, our thoughts, and actions towards kindness. And we add these to the collective well-being, directly supporting others to awaken also. We condition our hearts, our thoughts, our actions towards kindness, and we can better bring that energy into contentious and often brutal public arenas. So when at a demonstration, it's probably a really good time to be practicing metta, since demonstrations often bring up a lot of hostility. And so to be able to bring that energy into the crowd is a great thing. Or when writing a letter to the editor, be infused with the feeling of loving kindness so that you can speak the truth without a lot of poisonous feeling in it. Somebody recently, earlier in the week, I read a letter to the editor as I see it in that column in the GT, and he was talking about the waste system in this town. It was a terrific letter because it was informational. It was telling us exactly what happens in the landfill with all of the gases that are given off and leached into the water, and some of the proposals that are being made that would not attend to that. And it was just so friendly and clear because there was not a lot of anger in there. So it's a good thing to help us with our anger. I mean, no problem with anger. It points out what needs attention. But once we know what needs attention, bringing loving kindness along with our careful, insightful process is really excellent. So this is the only time to commit now, right now, to realizing and maintaining our own loving kindness, especially in the most trying conditions. In the challenge in the world that we're facing, and the upcoming elections, and the environmental disasters that are happening everywhere, and the disease things that are going on, metta practice is very, very important. So we'll be chanting this now in our Sunday service. Tonight we'll do it for the first time. Tonight we're going to chant it slower than we usually do, because if you're not familiar with it, it's great to do it slowly so you can really register what it's saying. It's a beautiful, beautiful chant. And it has little directional signals when the voice raises one tone or lowers one tone as we go. And so for now, I just wanted to close with the phrases that you can use and adapt them to your own particular need. May I be free from fear and anxiety. May I be mentally healthy. May I be physically healthy. May I be at ease. And then we direct those phrases to someone we love. We picture them in front of us and direct them. And then to some acquaintance. And then finally to some difficult person. May I be free from anxiety. May I be mentally healthy. May I be physically healthy. May I be at ease. May you be at ease. May you be happy.